Good evening and welcome to the news roundup for Wednesday, April 12. I am Abigail Smythe. Before we get into the news, please remember to like this video, share your views in the comments, and share the video with your family and your friends.
Teach them! Always make sure the message reach them!
Now for the news in detail. A 13-year-old girl and a 49-year-old man have been hospitalized after they were shot and injured during an attempted robbery in Harmon's, South Manchester, Tuesday night. A police source says around 9 p.m., 3 people were closing a shop in Harmon's when 2 gunmen traveling on a motorcycle attacked them. It is understood that the gunmen were unsuccessful in robbing them, and upon leaving, they opened fire, hitting the child and the man. The 2 injured people were taken to hospital and admitted for treatment. Investigations are ongoing. The police in St. James are seeking the public's assistance in identifying the body of a man who was found with gunshot wounds on Bogue Hill Main Road in St. James on Wednesday. The body is of dark complexion, medium build, about 5 feet 8 inches long, appears to be in its mid-40s, and has a dreadlock hairstyle. It was clad in a white merino and black jeans. Reports from the Montego Bay Police are that about 12:30 a.m. residents heard explosions. The body was found lying on the roadway about 6 a.m. The police were summoned, the scene processed, and the body removed to the morgue. Anyone with information that can assist the police in identifying the body is asked to contact the Montego Bay Police at 876-979-8452, Police 119 emergency number, or the nearest police station. A 55-year-old man has been arrested and charged with raping his 14-year-old daughter in Portland. It is understood that the incident occurred recently at the father's home, where the child went for lunch money. Police have confirmed the arrest of the man, who is said to be a higgler, but have declined to release his information so as to protect the child's identity. It is understood that about 10 p.m., the little girl, who attends a high school in the parish, went to her father's home to collect lunch money. While there, she was reportedly held and sexually assaulted. A report was made to the police, and following investigations, the father was arrested and charged with rape. The beryllium employee, who was detained last week for questioning in connection with the series of armed robberies of the security company's courier vehicles, is scheduled to face an identification parade. Head of the country's crime and security portfolio, Deputy Commissioner Fitz Bailey, says the suspect, who was employed as a treasurer officer at beryllium, is to face an ID parade in connection with the February 27 attack at the Jamaica National Bank in the Portmore Pines Plaza. 2 guards were shot, one fatally by gunmen who made off with about $10 million. It is reported that the treasurer officer was found with $500,000 during his arrest. DCP Bailey says 4 other suspects are to face ID parades in the JN and Scotiabank attacks later this week. The robbers stole $23 million during the March 19 attack at Scotiabank ATMs in Portmore. 1 suspect has already been charged in connection with that case. He is 24-year-old Shamar Yee of Fairview Park, Spanish Town, St. Catherine. He is facing 12 charges in relation to the incident, in which 5 people, including 4 security guards, were shot. The charges include being a participant in a criminal organization, several breaches of the Firearms Act, and robbery with aggravation. 7 others have been detained in connection with the robbery at the Scotiabank ATMs. A man wanted for murder and a shooting in St. Catherine was taken into custody on Tuesday in Manchester. The individual is to face an identification parade. The police say the man was a passenger in a minibus that was stopped about midday during a spot check on New Green Road in Mandeville. He was reportedly acting in a suspicious manner and was questioned. He was subsequently taken into custody. The tourism product development company TPDCO has announced that regular rafting has resumed at White River in Ocho Rios. It says licensed operators are functioning in a controlled and organized manner as a result of its intervention to stop illegal activities on the river. The agency says it continues to monitor the situation to ensure there is order and patrons are able to enjoy the facility without chaos and misconduct. TPDCO, in a release on the matter, adds that its effort to integrate formerly illegal operators are underway, with the first re-engagement session planned for this week. The agency says it is scheduled to tour the area with a view to further engaging stakeholders. A major police and military operation was conducted at the facility last month after complaints of criminals harassing tourists and engaging in illegal activities. Foreign Affairs Minister Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith is alerting Jamaicans that the U.S. and Panama have announced a 60-day campaign aimed at halting illegal migration through the treacherous Darien Gap. The Darien Gap is a geographic region that connects the continents of North and South America. It has seen an explosion in the number of migrants using the route to get to the United States. Last week, Minister Johnson-Smith said that anecdotal evidence suggests that Panama, Mexico, and Belize are popular gateway destinations for Jamaicans and other nationals seeking a backdoor into the United States. She says the government was aware of Jamaicans purchasing legal tickets intending to travel illegitimately through Central America. While speaking at a post-cabinet press briefing Monday morning at Jamaica House, the Foreign Affairs Minister made another appeal, noting that illegal transit was a bad idea. She says Panama has been heightening its vigilance at immigration checkpoints. According to the latest validated statistics from the Passport, Immigration and Citizenship Agency, PICA, between 2018 and March this year, over 2,000 Jamaicans were refused entry to Panama. Over that same period, 81 persons were deported. For Mexico, 143 Jamaicans were refused entry. Minister Johnson-Smith says the reputation of Jamaica's passport is at risk. Minister of Finance Dr. Nigel Clarke says Jamaica must produce more science and technology graduates in order to become a high-income state. Dr. Clarke laments that Jamaica has struggled to make the transition from a middle income to a high-income nation and states that one of the keys to doing so is producing more graduates in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics STEM fields. Dr. Clarke says countries which have made the transition from middle income to high income could be distinguished by their dedication to infrastructure and establishments surrounding science, math, and technology. He further states that for this reason, the government is seeking to increase the number of teachers in these fields at the secondary level and create more opportunities for Jamaicans to access education in science-based areas. In business, Jamaica is among 3 countries being hailed by the International Monetary Fund, IMF, as successful examples of significant debt reduction. This formed part of the IMF's latest World Economic Outlook released on Tuesday. The IMF notes that debt ratios in Jamaica declined substantially, falling from over 140% in 2013 to 100% in 2018. 2 other countries which achieved similar results were the Seychelles in East Africa and Cyprus in the Middle East. The achievement was credited to proper, though varied approaches to debt restructuring. In the case of Jamaica, the IMF notes that the country's debt reduction strategy did not involve a haircut on what was owed, but instead revolved around strict primary balance policies, fiscal consolidation, and inflation adjustments. Inflation particularly contributed to a debt reduction of 70 percentage points. This was followed by economic growth strategies, which accounted for offsetting roughly 7 points of the nation's debt. On the foreign exchange market, a buying rate for the Canadian dollar is $110.27, while the selling rate is $113.08. Buying rate for the Great Britain pound is $183.65, selling rate $188.83. Buying rate for the US dollar is $150.99, while the selling rate is $153.16. In the region, ExxonMobil Guyana says with the arrival of the Prosperity floating, production, storage, and offloading vessel, oil production is expected to increase to 600,000 barrels per day by 2024. The Prosperity vessel has an initial production capacity of around 220,000 barrels of oil per day and an overall storage volume of 2 million barrels. It was reported that returns from the energy sector are expected to catapult Guyana into the ranks of the wealthiest countries in the Western Hemisphere. On the international scene, at least 53 people have been killed in one of the deadliest airstrikes by the Myanmar military in the ongoing civil war. Reports are that the dead include at least 15 women and a number of children. Tuesday's attack targeted a village in the northwestern region, which has opposed the military government. The military has increasingly used airstrikes against opponents since they seized power in February 2021. Some communities have put up some of the strongest opposition to military rule in Myanmar, forming their own militias and running their own schools and clinics. One villager told the BBC that a military jet had flown over and dropped a bomb, followed by a helicopter gunship which attacked the village for 20 minutes. Residents uploaded videos showing scenes of the carnage, with dismembered bodies lying on the ground and several buildings on fire. And in sports, Jamaica suffered a 6-wicket defeat to their Trinidad and Tobago counterparts in their fourth-round clash in the West Indies Rising Stars Under-15 competition at the Coolidge Cricket Ground in Antigua. It was a third straight defeat for the Jamaicans as the Trinis became champions with a fourth consecutive win. And that's it for your news roundup for today. Please remember to like this video, leave your views in the comments, and share the video with your family and your friends. I am Abigail Smythe. Have a good evening and see you next time.
Teach them! Hey, yo, hello! Send the message and make it reach them. It's teach them. Right here, Warlord representing.
Thank you for watching. Like the video before you go. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. And remember to share the video with your friends and family. And browse the channel for more quality content. Until next time, walk good, my friends.
Teach them!